You don't think it's a little risky? Formalin and chloroquine and...
It's toxic to fish, and it will kill them.
About as warm as here.
Holy cow. We're gonna see how it all goes.
It's the start of the new year, and Andrew and the team are already hard at work getting 2026 off to a strong start. Their focus over the next couple weeks is on finding solutions, answering questions, improving results, all through science. The Polo Reef curiosity even takes them all the way to Yale to team up with experts in their field. The start of their curiosity begins with none other than one of Andrew's favorite fish, the anthia. And with the shipment on the way, the team can't seem to agree on a single acclimation or quarantine protocol.
So, Andrew, we have the anthias coming tomorrow.
What protocol would you go with?
I think we should use some nitrofurazone and some formalin.
I'm gonna go with what chloroquine dose I can keep them at without hurting the anthias.
Yeah, I thought chloroquine was toxic to some anthias.
Toxic or just can't handle it. But if I gave them a formalin bath every 48 hours.
You don't think it's a little risky? Formalin and...
Why not doing a competition? We have plenty of anthias to go around. We have 6 cubes that are ready to go. Separate them evenly, 2 cubes per person, and each of you can have your own quarantine process.
We could do that. That'd be an interesting experiment.
Sounds more like a competition.
Competition, yeah.
How about that?
All right, that sounds great.
The best QT process wins and may the odds be ever in your favor. Let's start. All right, let's do it.
The morning starts off with a large shipment of anthias arriving just in time for the competition.
So, Andrew, we got the 150 Bartlett's anthias. Just so you know, they've been in transit for like 24 hours now from the Christmas Islands.
With the anthias in-house, it's time for each competitor to walk us through their quarantine methods, starting with Andrew.
My anthias are gonna go through 48 hours, every 48 hours, a formalin bath, and I am gonna dose chloroquine phosphate daily with a water change, and I'm gonna keep the chloroquine concentration right at 10, 11 milligrams per liter. I'm gonna hope that the chloroquine stops the transmission, and the formalin takes care of any urinema if it's there. I may even throw in an antibiotic in there just to be a bartender.
We just received the anthias. I don't want to do any baths. I introduce them to the tank. I want to give them 24 hours before we start the medication so they could acclimate more thoroughly. So my treatment protocol is going to be nitrofurazone green with formalin dosed every day with 100% or as close to 100% water changes as we could do daily to control ammonia and nitrite, as well as for biodegradation and medicines not being strong, so that this way we can know they're getting the right dose every day.
For my protocol for the anthias, solely for urinema. Right? This is a urinema experiment. I'm not trying to address bacterial problems. I'm just trying to address protozoal problems, specifically urinema. We're going to do a combination of fenbendazole and tinidazole. I derived this protocol from treatment of Giardia, which is another protozoal organism that can be a little bit tricky to treat in dogs and cats. We're actually using the same medication or using translational medicine to treat a different protozoal organism in the same manner.
Here we go! 3 different methods. We're gonna see how it all goes.
And just like that, they're off to the races. Andrew wastes no time sizing up his competition.
Oh man, I'm just looking at other people's anthias. Whose batch is this? Alex?
Alex's.
I think it looks like the bigger and healthiest batch. He's at an advantage. John, I would say yours look about like mine. Good luck to you. These are my fish. I swear, I think I see urinema lesions in my sleep. I know we're gonna look at all these and take out the ones with lesions, and we might even keep them and divide them so we all get the same amount of lesions.
Don't get your dirty lesion water in my bucket.
Hey, listen, you keep your tank water away from my tank water.
Side.
All right, 22 on top, give me the bottom.
The low down.
20 at the bottom.
Right.
We're gonna average 21. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's fine. Start the drip.
Max kicks off the competition by going through each of the anthias and separating the ones that have lesions. It's important that they do this to prevent contamination of fully healthy fish against the sick fish. With all the fish separated, John begins to put his anthias in the quarantine tanks. Andrew is right next to him doing the same, but with a completely different method.
All right.
Ready?
Round them up, and we'll put them in our bucket, and then it's formalin time. Anybody just realize if you're going to use formalin, be careful. gloves and eyewear. And please, Yelson, where's the bottle? I want to show them something.
Right there.
I'll take this off. Check to make sure that it's clear on the bottom. And if it gets cloudy at the bottom, it's toxic to fish and it will kill them. There you are, guys. Welcome home.
With different acclimation approaches, all the fish are placed into their quarantine tanks. Now, it's just a waiting game to see who will come out on top. Who do you got your money on? Max shifts his attention to making some space in the quarantine, but this requires moving some of Andrew's favorite fish. It's a delicate process.
All right, so we just finished catching the conspics out of this bottom right QT. After that, we're gonna move them into the 300 SPS.
Before moving the angelfish, they'll be scraped quickly to ensure that they're still healthy.
So we're putting the baby conspic angels in the 300 SPS. They're going in an acclimation box just because there's some other angels in here and we want to make sure there's no aggression between them. We're going to put some pipes and a little bit of rock in there just so they have some places to hide over the next couple days.
These rare beauties are now one step closer to landing in their forever home. After this phase of their quarantine journey, they'll be assessed one more time and then splashed down in the 17,000-gallon tank. As the week progresses, so does the quarantine challenge, but not before the tanks decide to fight back.
What the I thought my him was doing it.
We got a flood. Oh, this is not staged. Come on, Steve, let's come out of here. It's too wet.
After mopping up the lab, the team kicks back into gear, and the participants in the Anthia quarantine competition are gathered around for a quick 2-week check-in.
So far in the tinidazole fenbendazole combo, there's been no deaths and no changes in the bio.
My system, I had 2 deaths. Frankly, it was from a bacterial infection.
Yeah, bacterial.
And yet I dosed antibiotics, so go figure. But no uranema. The chloroquine, as you know, hits the bio a little bit, so had a little bit of ammonia taken care of by water changes daily.
I've had no losses in mine. I've had a little bit of ammonia and nitrite also, but the daily water changes for remedication have kept it at the lowest possible level that we could have.
Let's see if we continue to have this good luck and what happens next.
If you own a tank, you know that equipment and wire organization is super important. At Polo Reef, they take this to the highest level and custom build most of the organization systems right here in-house. Joe spots something he wants to touch up, so he heads to the workshop to quickly fabricate a piece that will beautify the deep water tank even further.
We're trying to make a cover for the overflow of the sump, because there's a lot of salt creep, you know, it's with the water coming down and splashing. So we'll try to keep the place nice and clean.
Joe puts the final cuts on the lid and they head back into the lab to install it. Sometimes it's the little things that make us happy.
Look how nice it fits. Tell me if that's not sexy.
Meanwhile, back in the lab, Andrew and Yelson are checking in on some of the fish in the other quarantine tanks when something rather surprising happens up front.
So Joe was moving in elegance and wasn't wearing gloves, and he got stung, and all the nematocysts stuck to him. And that's the ends of the coral. The nematocysts are like little harpoons. It's got a little string, and then it's got, you know, like a harpoon, but like that's barbed.
Look at the spots.
Yeah, peroxided.
After pulling the barbs out, Joe rinses his hand and disinfects it. In true Polo Reef fashion, they pull up their bootstraps and get right back to work. It turns out, Joe's injury might have been worth it.
Can you? I can move. You see all the brown things falling to the bottom?
Yeah.
That's all flatworms that are coming off of it. That were here. I'll try to knock one off here. See, there's one coming off. Hopefully, you learned that lesson. Yeah, you didn't.
If I don't feel nothing, I'll never learn.
The team decides to conclude the Anthia quarantine competition, but not without learning some important lessons.
I never seen such small losses on a batch of anthias. You're talking about 4 out of 140. 2 were bacterial, none were uranema, 1 or 2 were DOA, but that's it.
Yeah. No, we were.
Yeah, I think all the experiments proved to have worked, but the thing that we're forgetting is the anthias were all shipped to us in nitrofurazone, and we didn't have space for a control group to not medicate, so not have uranema from the beginning because we got them shipped in nitrofurazone is the question.
Very interesting that all 3 of us had good results within our medications. And I guess the big unanswered question is, or will be, was it the nitrofurazone? Or did we all have good procedures for urinema. Time will tell. Stay tuned. We got more experiments to do.
With the Anthias competition concluded, it got Alex thinking about other potential experiments that could help push the hobby further. He pops in to talk it over with Andrew.
So now that we're finishing the anthia protozoal experiment, we did have another batch of anthias that came in that aren't looking great on scan scrape. I'm suspecting a bacterial infection. I'd like to pursue talking to Dr. Chan about potential phage therapy.
You want to do a phage experiment in the cubes with some anthias.
So Yale has that library of phages for different bacterial infections, so they'll test which phage the bacteria is most susceptible to.
All right, let's go. Give him a call.
Good morning, Dr. Chan.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. I have a couple sick anthias here with suspected bacterial infection and wanted to pick your brain on potential phage therapy.
What can I do for you?
So can we bring up some samples, and are you able to culture that bacteria and potentially test phages against that bacteria?
We can sure try. If you guys bring up some samples,
What type of samples do you want us to bring up?
basically just swabs and water samples would be great.
Yeah, beautiful. We could definitely do that.
We're coming to visit you.
Looking forward to it. I'll be ready.
Okay, great.
Beautiful.
Tomorrow, the team heads to Yale. But since the new experiment will require the competition tank, Alex has to scramble to get everything prepped. This means that the anthias will need to be moved to the back.
All of this quarantine, they're all on the same line. They're all connected. We're just going to further watch them, separate them out in quarantine, but they're going to be on the same water supply. No medications. They haven't had medications in about a week now.
With the anthias moved into their new perspective tanks, Alex gets to work collecting samples for their trip to Yale.
So these are actually containers containing phage or bacteriophages that target specific bacteria, in this case, Vibrio angeliticus. They'll go into those bacterium, actually lyse the bacteria, killing the bacteria, thus treating the Vibrio from the anthias.
The mad dash is complete, and the tanks and team are all set to head to Yale in the morning. Polo Reef has a long history of partnering up with schools, labs, and nonprofit organizations. The Yale experiment, it elevates what Polo Reef is capable of achieving, and they are more than excited to head to the Ivy Leagues.
Made it to Yale and the Ivies, baby. Ivy League lab. Holy cow. Wait till you guys see this. Here we are at Yale, about to enter. So, Dr. Chen, thank you for being our guide, and we're so happy to be here and visiting. Take us through.
Let's do it.
As soon as Andrew enters the lab, he immediately gets inspired and has some ideas on the future of the Polo lab.
I think this is like what an ICP thing would look like if you had to run an ICP machine. I guess I'm glad I didn't set up our ICP machine in the Polo lab.
Okay, so here's the lab. And so you guys brought some water samples, I guess?
We do.
Oh, you got it. All right.
We took samples from the anthias that came in.
Yep.
Dr. Chen was able to isolate a species of Vibrio.
Right.
He then collected phages, purified
Right.
those phages, and then we treated with those phages.
Right.
We're just testing these water samples to see if those Vibrio species are gone.
One we did nothing with. It's just a control.
One was just
Infected.
the infected
Right.
parts.
And one was on the fish.
Correct.
But we tested the water anyway, just to see what
Correct.
that was like.
Correct.
All right, let's do it.
With the water samples from Polo Reef and the Yale lab, Andrew gears up to lend a hand conducting some Ivy League research.
We're gonna leave it to the doctors to even explain it to you what we're looking at and what a phage is and what the ramifications. Let's look at the big picture. Yeah, doc.
Sure.
Take it away.
Okay,
Big picture.
big picture.
Yeah.
Phages are the viruses of bacteria, and only bacteria. So they're everywhere, and in the ocean they kill 40% of every bacteria in the ocean every day.
Just natural.
Just naturally.
Right.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to find the right phage, which would be the one that kills, the disease-causing bacteria, and use that to try and help, balance an aquarium or an ocean or a person. And so the samples here from tanks in which you have some infected fish that are diseased, and we're hoping to test for the bacteria and look for phages, because we used some phages earlier to try and prevent this disease.
Right. And the big picture is potentially less use of antibiotics.
Definitely,
Yeah?
yeah.
Right? That's the big picture.
Yeah.
And really targeted.
Super targeted.
Super targeted for specific bacteria.
Okay, so I actually have the original Vibrio that we isolated, and I tested a phage on it. And I thought today we might test these water samples, like streak them out to see if we can get some bacteria.
So we're looking to see specifically how much bacteria is left in these samples, and we're looking for phages.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Angelicus is the Vibrio species. Told us. Angeliticus. I don't know how to pronounce it, but we'll see it written up. But apparently it's big.
It's something that we commonly see in coral and fish.
So big.
Found this bacteria already on the plate.
Yep.
So all you have to do is rinse it off. There you go.
Go bacteria, go.
Easy as that.
Okay.
What we'll do now is let this incubate for, I don't know, overnight. Tomorrow we'll have some pictures. This is on Pseudomonas.
Uh-huh.
This is from like a patient isolate that has a lung infection, but like we have.
Oh, is that
phages
right?
to test. Usually humans, but a few dogs. And
What's
I
the
guess
what's the antibiotic of choice in Pseudomonas? Depends on which
Culture. Again, they're actually a patient I have now. Has a multi-drug resistant Pseudomonas that we're potentially going to phage her as well.
The person.
The dog. The
dog.
Yeah.
The dog.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's resistant across the board.
Resistant to everything. She had MRSA first, and now she has a multi-drug resistant Pseudomonas, and hopefully Dr. Chang can save her leg.
With the samples in the incubator, the team takes a moment to walk around the Yale lab. It is super impressive. There's one thing in the lab that catches Andrew's attention, and it is very frigid.
It's so frozen. He's got to open with a glove.
about as warm
Holy cow!
as your Wisconsin.
Winter.
Oh yeah, so it's basically each one has bacteria or phage all collected in here.
It's like a safety deposit box, like that's frozen.
Yeah.
How cold is it?
Minus 80 Celsius.
Celsius. Minus 80 Celsius.
Yeah.
Is that as cold as what? What planet?
Oh, I don't know. Wrong field for me. But it's
Unbelievable.
cold.
Minus 80 Celsius.
Yeah.
You know, people are starting to go cryogenic when they die and waiting for tears.
Yep.
They go into one of those things.
Same premise.
Just like that, Polo Reef enters into a new phase of research to help push the hobby further. It's an exciting time for Polo Reef and all hobbyists. It's only a matter of time before we can finally see the results. On the way out, they check out some of Yale's history, and it's absolutely stunning.
Well, I figured after the lab would show you some of the other sites in New Haven, such as the Beinecke Rare Book Library.
Rare books.
Yeah, rare books.
A lot of movies about that.
Yeah.
Can't wait. What do you got here in a special?
Well, they have a lot of rare things, like the Voynich manuscript, which maybe you've heard about, but also the Gutenberg Bible. There's one here.
Wow.
It's on display. So
Wow. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
It's the Gutenberg Bible. There's only 24 that survived in complete, intact versions. One of them is here. 1450 this was printed.
That's an old one.
This is an old book. Very valuable. I bet you a lot more valuable than, and a better investment than the koi fish.
You should get that.
We should get this. We should get that.
It's not every day you get to partner up with an Ivy League school to set up an experiment.
It was a pleasure. And thank you for having us. And beautiful tour, beautiful campus, beautiful lab.
It was a memorable trip to Yale that will hopefully provide some amazing results and partnerships for the future. The team heads back to Polo, because no matter what, Polo never sleeps. And they arrive just in time for another shipment of anthias. But these anthias, they're a little bit different.
Cold. 69. It's much colder water than all of these tanks. These are deep water anthias.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.
I think it's bigger.
Beautiful. Stunning.
So the trio of Tistanos are acclimated, and we're going to put them into the quarantine tank now. So we're trying to keep it as dark as possible so that it's less light, so they're less stressed out.
Adding life to any new tank is an exciting time, especially for a tank as unique as the Deepwater. It's been a couple weeks since the Yale visit, and Alex stops in to discuss some of the findings with Andrew.
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Doc.
How's it going?
That's cold out.
It is. Hope you had a happy new year. Just
New
wanted to
Year.
go over some of that Yale experimentation with you.
Let's do it.
Let me call Dr. Ben, and let's go over everything.
Okay. Dr. Ben, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So we've got all the anthias. They're actually doing really quite well. I know you were able to isolate a species of Vibrio and potentially had a phage that looked like it was susceptible. We've had no further lesions, and all the fish seem to be doing well.
Well, we should try and get you guys back up here so we can talk about how we can push this stuff forward a bit more.
Great. Okay.
It looks like the samples that Andrew plated out actually had a new phage. We're still working on characterizing it, but it looks like he's discovered a new phage.
The name is Phoebe.
There you go.
All right. Bye, Doc.
So exciting work being done at Yale. Very excited for what comes in 2026.
Given the amount of experiments and things that I see coming up, I think the biggest issue is we don't have enough tanks.
Definitely more cubes would be beneficial.
More cubes would be beneficial. Ciliate stuff to do. We have more uranema experiments to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, this year is going to be full of bacterial and protozoal infections for sure.
This is going to be the year. Stay tuned, and if you want us to test anything or have anything on your mind, drop them in the comments. We're loaded with ideas and experiments. Stay tuned for 26.
Like any proper research, it takes time to get the results. Stay tuned for future episodes as the experiments continue with Yale and the Polo Lab. The start of 2026 has been a wild time, and for good reason. The new year is in full motion, and what began as a friendly internal challenge quickly evolved into real science, real collaboration, and real momentum. From refining quarantine protocols to partnering with Yale on cutting-edge research, curiosity continues to drive everything forward. This is a new chapter for the hobby and Polo Reef, and the results, they're just beginning to take shape. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to stay updated on everything Polo Reef. Until next time.